What's going on, YouTube? We're trying this once again tonight. Probably the last time tonight because I'm getting a bit tired. But I was able to secure me a guest for tonight. Say hello to Black Los, my cousin.
Hey!
If you followed the channel for at least a year, you will have seen us do a couple other videos together. I did his music video. Still very proud of that. We might have to get together and do another one soon, because as far as
Watch
my
this.
equipment goes, I've done leveled up. So
Okay.
I got me a few ideas for one of your other songs. Even if you, I don't know, for the time being, you might have some other stuff coming down the pipe you may want to share. I don't know. You got a new
We
album,
might.
new
We might.
single?
We might. Well, I'll put it like this. What we'll do, we'll probably chat about it. I got a couple ideas, but nothing really concrete. But I'm always about creating some type of new content, even if it's not necessarily a music video. Who knows? I might get a short film.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I'm trying to clear up my backlog of jobs anyway. This whole COVID thing is kind of taking us aback.
Yeah.
So
But
I'm
one thing
trying to
I
clear.
will. I'm sorry.
Yo, you're good. You're good.
One thing I will say though, but like COVID, it's put a damper on a lot of things. But I've really been finding a lot of people have really been getting really creative despite COVID, and it shows like things can still be done. It may not be in the conventional way that we're used to and accustomed to, but people are making good art, good music videos, even short film movies. It's just we just got to be a little bit more creative with it. And
Definitely.
it has to be more. What's the term I'm looking for? It definitely has to be a little bit more decided and with purpose instead of just throwing a bunch of people at one location and just hitting record. No, it has to be a little bit more tactful and deliberate.
Exactly. Exactly. We got somebody that's watching us right now, but I've done made a mistake and put them in timeout. So it's my bad. It's only for 5 minutes, so hopefully you can stick around for us for a bit more. I'm still getting used to this myself. I was trying to pin your comment. So hopefully I can get used to it.
All right, all right. How's your evening, cuz? Everything good on your?
It's not bad. It's not bad. I can't complain. I'm finally putting something on my stomach, which was probably a good idea to try and do before I started this whole concept in the first place. But I don't
Okay.
know, when you're drinking a little bit, all things are possible.
I just came back in. I just had a couple myself. Um, and I had dinner. I had a meatless burger. And it was actually pretty good.
Where
I'm I'm
from?
I'm um what's that? Oh, we just came back from me and Joe. We just came back from Racers on Harvard Road, right across from where the Giant is and the Panda Express over at that little shopping center.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right across the street is a bar called Racers, and they had a plant-based burger. I thought that was pretty good because I have beef has not been agreeing with me, and it's been that way like the past several years. Like I would eat it less and less, and it's just creating more problems than anything. So, and I've sworn off of pork like years ago. So
Yeah.
it's coming down to like just chicken. I'm really contemplating pescatarianism. So I'm sure your missus would probably be happy to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, she's had to go that route ever since we first met. So it's been about maybe over 15 years since she's had any meat, and I've never been able to like retain pork myself. So I've just been beef and chicken myself. But
Yeah.
oddly enough, it's rotating a whole lot more. I actually just saw advertisement through Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut has the Beyond Meat sausage now,
Mhm.
and there was another spot. I've heard, can't confirm it myself, but I've heard McDonald's is supposed to have a Beyond Meat burger, and there was another spot that just Wawa's.
It's
They've
funny.
got
I would have thought that McDonald's probably would have been the first to break through with one of those, but I guess not so much. Like
yeah,
a
that's a
meatless burger.
yeah. They let Burger King hang on to that for a while with that
Yeah.
Impossible Burger, and I think that still exists. So
Yeah. I bet it's
yeah,
probably been in development, but they probably haven't. Because the thing is, with all of that type of stuff, it has to taste good, it has to be appealing. Then they want to market it right, and then I guess whether it's uh, economically sound
it's
to
just
produce,
yeah,
because that it's a reason why you can buy a doggone McChicken for like 99 cents. Like
yeah.
$1 something. It's a reason why it's so cheap.
I
So it's
don't
like
think. Mhm. Yeah, I don't think McDonald's is trying to innovate as much as they are playing catch up right now. Because I mean, they just came out with the spicy nuggets. It's not like they're the first to do that.
that was limited. That's gone.
Yeah, I could care less because I mean, I did try
I
them a
like
second
the
time.
tempura. I like the tempura. I like the little spice. I was just doubly mad that the location I went to, they stopped giving a doggone that hot sauce. That hot sauce was fire. It was good.
The hot sauce was good. The hot sauce was good, but I think I had mentioned it before. The first time that I had them, I was not happy. I even got a video on my channel about it. But I
Yeah, I
did end
seen it.
up going back. I did end up going back and trying them a second time, and they were a bit better. But I still, as far as spicy tenders go, I'm still a big fan of Wendy's, which says a lot
Yeah, they
because I
held it
don't
down.
like, yeah,
The Wendy's definitely had when they brought back spicy nuggets. That was a whole media frenzy. People were so happy about that. So, yeah.
right,
So, but yeah.
yeah,
And who has I know Dunkin' Donuts. They use like a Beyond Meat sausage,
they do,
so
yeah,
they have that going on. You know.
yeah. It's definitely been getting around, getting around.
Yeah,
So
I'm
like
definitely curious to see how that's going to go with. You said who? Domino's or Pizza Hut? They're going to be using a
Pizza Hut, yeah,
Pizza
Pizza
Hut.
Hut
Yeah.
has it. Wawa's, they
It's
have
funny.
Beyond Meat.
Do
So
you do
yeah,
you do
it's
Pizza Hut like that, cuz?
yeah. If you follow me on social media, for anybody watching, if they follow me on social media, they know I'm very critical about my pizzas. And Domino's hasn't been treating me well lately. Papa John's has been garbage lately. The ones around me, I have to go pretty much out Parkville to get a good Papa John's pizza. But um, but Pizza Hut usually don't do me wrong. They have a couple of times in the past, a couple of times maybe even this past year, but normally I can get a good pizza from Pizza Hut. So that's kind of where I stand with them right now.
It's funny because me, when it comes to pizza, I like the I like the little small joints. I like the little neighborhood spots. I swear, there's nothing better than that. Like if I had to get like from a major chain,
Hmm.
I'd probably pick Domino's. And it's funny because I get so much flack. They're like, "Yeah, you don't like Pizza Hut?" Pizza Hut to me is like once it cools, like it becomes lukewarm, and once it cools, you can't save it. It's almost like McDonald's fries. Once Pizza Hut gets cool or cold, you can't redeem it. Papa John's you can reheat.
Yeah,
Papa John's you can reheat. I
yeah.
think it's something with their cheese and their sauce. Um, Domino's. I mean, not that nobody wants to eat cold beef unless you got like a hangover popping or something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Pizza Hut, it's like eat it while it's hot, dude.
There are people that love cold pizza, and I, for the life of me,
But
it doesn't register.
not all cold pizza is good though. Like I said,
Yeah,
I wouldn't dream of eating cold pizza. But some
yeah.
people,
There's very few things.
I think it's just that whole thing of middle of the night or early in the morning or whatever. Oh shoot, we got some pizza left. Go ahead, snag a slice. One of
I
those
still
things.
gotta I still gotta warm it. Not no cold pizza is good to me. It's got to be. It's got. I can warm it up in a toaster oven. I can warm it up in a microwave. Something. But I just any food. I don't know. That's about me. That's something about me. If the food is
It
meant to
has
be
to be
eaten hot,
reheated.
yeah. If it's meant to be
Oh
eaten hot,
no, I don't
it's
know.
got to be reheated.
Cold fried chicken be hitting though.
Ooh, no, no, no. You know
Cold
what I
fried
can
chicken.
do?
What?
I can take cold fried chicken and I can break it up and make it into like chicken salad. and
I
that'll
never
work.
did that, but yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, my mom put me onto that because she will get some Royal Farms chicken in a heartbeat and
Hmm.
turn that into something, peel that and turn that into something completely different.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
We
That's
got a
dope.
comment in the chat saying the people that like cold pizza are the same people that eat rare steak.
Uh, well,
Yeah, see, I
eat
like that.
red. I don't eat no red steak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? I've for growing up, I always thought that there was something. I mean, there probably is something against eating steak that rare,
Oh,
but
I just checked the comments on. Oh, that's Pete. Pete, go
yeah.
ahead somewhere. Don't get that boy started. Block him before we start talking about Kanye all evening. Block him.
You know, now,
Block him.
technically, he already did, but unfortunately, I did not know how to post his first comment
Well,
up.
I have to block him again. The people that
Oh
like
no,
cold
he's good.
pizza,
He's good.
the people that like cold pizza, are the same people that eat red steak. I mean, no, I mean, I don't desire to eat. It's just happenstance. Like it's like, oh shoot, that's some leftover pizza. I don't feel like tossing this microwave. Let me just grab this, because then you even it's like no matter how short of a time you put it in there, it's still gonna be hotter than what you care for, and I ain't trying to burn it out. Like screw it. Let me just grab this slice and go about my business.
Uh,
But yeah, man. But yeah, cold. And when I mean cold, I'm not talking about teeth chattering cold. I'm talking about like it could be like cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to feel like
uh,
ice, forming on it. Like not that kind of cold, you know. Or anything that just settles is just much better. That's why I say like, shoot, if you have some homemade fried chicken, and that's the thing, homemade fried chicken. I'm not talking about picking up Popeyes or KFC or anywhere else and eating that cold. I'm talking about like homemade fried chicken because that stuff, that flavor and all that, that settles, bro. That settles.
mm, yeah, possible. It's
Second,
possible.
second, nothing's better than second day fried chicken. That and like almost any type of Italian food.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like even if it's older, like I make a real good gumbo, and
Don't you
and
not say
personally,
never
and
had gumbo before? Yeah, you said you make a good gumbo, man. I want it. Well, I probably can't have it because shoot, can't fool with crab, can't fool with beef. I can't do it. I don't know if you make some turkey andouille sausage in it, I might have to get some, man.
I can make it work because I've done it with I don't mess with pork either, so I've done it with beef andouille sausage. I've done it with Beyond Meat once, so
Mm.
yeah, I can make it work. And then it's not always a big thing for me to put shrimp in it, but I do add shrimp every now and then.
Alright. Cool, 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 cool.
Yeah,
Well,
air fryers are the best. Air fryers are probably
oh
the
yeah,
best reheating option for pizza.
yeah. If it's it depends on how large it is. Like me, you it's funny. The whole thing with air fryers over the years has been like revolutionized because here's a little quick story. It's funny, or it's not funny. The origin of it. My mom, as you know, she passed back in 2006, and back in October 2006. And prior to her passing, um, myself and my ex-wife, we had um, moved her into our apartment because she was going to have surgery and she was going to be at our apartment until whenever, right?
Yeah.
So most of the stuff was in storage, but we had a couple odds and ends that were in our apartment. So mom's passed. I'm going through all those motions and just up late one night, and I happened to be watching this infomercial, right? And it was with the new wave oven. And you ever be up late and watching something like, man, that's interesting. That's cool. That's nice. That's interesting. I went in the kitchen, being a fatty. Lo and behold, I look on the top of the fridge. It was that same new wave oven. My mother purchased that like a while ago, and we moved it in. I didn't pay it. My mother was always buying some type of cooking apparatus or appliance, and she had it. And that was my first really, I guess you could say, introduction to like air fryer. I think that still qualifies. Was the new wave oven, bro? that right there was like the bee's knees to me because it was maybe about 18 inches in diameter at the base, so you could put a pizza in there, and that would be perfect to either heat your pizza up like a frozen one, or even reheat a small pizza. I put a whole chicken in there. It was the best thing for steak. It was awesome, man, and it was a healthy option. So from then, as time goes on, then people start making these air fryers, and I think it's really like the same technology to a degree. It was just with the new wave oven, you had this clear dome. You
Yeah.
had the convection or whatever the head up top, that little module, but it had an internal fan and it had the resistors, the heat resistors up top. So it would heat up and then it would circulate the heat around to get a full cook. When I tell you, bro, you would put like let's say maybe a pound ribeye in there. Don't you better not stray away. Put that pound ribeye, thaw it out maybe for like put that in there for like maybe 14 minutes. You got a good medium steak ready to go with a nice crisp on the outside, but you still have it whatever temperature or coloration you want it on the inside, bro. Yeah,
Good
but
deal.
yeah,
Good deal.
I love air fryers. Air fryers is like so good to cook things fast, um, but also won't dry out. You know, it can be easy to overcook, but yeah, you got to be on your p's and q's with it.
Mm. That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
Yeah, man.
Ravens versus Titans this weekend. Who you got?
Man, don't get me talking about the daggone Ravens. I'm gonna make a pick. I'm gonna say the Ravens, but the Ravens ain't been playing like a winning team, and I really don't have that confidence. Like the way we're playing like a wild card. We're playing like we're playing for a wild card spot. We're
Yeah,
not
I
playing.
don't.
We're not we're not playing like a convincing winning team. Technically, we're a winning team. We're 6-3. On the grand scheme of things, at one point in time, we were like, "Oh, that's good. We're doing good." It's like, no, we're playing. We're not playing like
It's like
we. No.
it's like they put all their energy in the beginning.
No,
If
not really, because shoot, it was certain games where we didn't get things turned up until like the third quarter. Like, I still think the worst example was that daggone Philly game. We didn't do.
if
We
but
no, we
looking at
turned
the
up at the
stats,
beginning. Uh,
yeah. If you look at the stats, they I think it was maybe last week's game that was the first one that broke the stats. But every game we take the lead in the beginning, as long as we have the lead, we end up winning. But if we need to come up from behind, we end up losing that game. And I think
we
last week was the first game that broke that trend, where I think we were up in the beginning first, and then we ended up losing the lead and ended up losing altogether. It's almost like it's almost like how Tyson was
yeah
in his fights, where he would take you out in the first minute or so,
yeah
but if you were able to outlast him, then you
yeah
had a better chance.
yeah.
That, that,
What do you say? We need to revamp that offense. No, the coordinator is a really being a one trick pony. It's not that we even have a bad offensive core. It's just not everybody's being utilized. Either he's going to Andrews, or now Boyle is out. He's hurt. He's either going to the tight ends, or he's going to target Hollywood, mm, or he's checking down to the running back. He's doing a little dump off, or he's going to make a play on his feet. We have enough weapons. We just don't have a good slot receiver, somebody to come up the middle. Greg Roman is predictable. I don't care what nobody say, and he's going to lose the confidence in the he's definitely going to lose the trust of his players if they don't make some changes and utilize their players properly because it's we don't have a bad offensive team. The only thing that worries me now is that we've had so many um, injuries, especially on the
yeah,
offensive line, which is going to put even more strain on Lamar because now you're really going to have to force him to play on his feet because the people that they're going to have play at it's like a game of musical chairs. You got this guy who's playing this guy's position on the line who's normally not here. Then you got this guy who's playing center who don't play center. So it's like you're trying to, make it up as you go along.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, they need to. They don't have the ability to shoot it out with any team right now. What I mean by that is any team who can and will score, Ravens are not going to go score for score with you. They're not going to do it. And the thing is, we were able to do that last year. And offensively, the team wasn't as talented last year as it is now. We actually have a more talented team on offense, but
Yeah.
we were able to compete a little bit more. We would jump out and we would finish good. I mean, think about it. Last year we got spoiled. Lamar didn't even finish most of the games he played. He would
This is
check
true.
out like sometimes late third quarter or early fourth quarter. He would check out. So whatever changes that they need to make, they really need to make it soon because the season is daggone near over. And
Yeah.
and Pittsburgh ain't letting up. Pittsburgh ain't, and on top of that, the Browns ain't trash. The Browns are not trash. They had the same record as us. Browns ain't trash. They if they tank for the rest of the season, this season right now is a successful season for them. If they tank
Yeah.
for the rest of the season, that's how bad they suck for forever. And I don't see them sucking for the rest of the season.
This is
We'd
true.
have to. I think we're going to drop again the Steelers, even though we could have beat them the first time. And I think the Browns might beat us. The Browns could beat us because the Browns always play us tough.
I'd hate to see that, but it's possible. Shoot,
We
there's just too many surprises right now.
here's what we need to do, and Peter's right. We have to beat the Steelers. If we don't beat the Steelers, I don't have the confidence that we're gonna win out and control our destiny. It'll come down to a numbers game. It's really gonna come down to a numbers game. Steelers gonna win this division.
It's looking like it.
Steelers.
It don't look
That's
good
that's
for us.
that ain't even a problem. The Steelers is going to win this division. They're not. I can see the Steelers potentially maybe losing one or two games. They ain't gonna win. They ain't gonna lose three. Steelers ain't losing three games.
Hmm.
They perfect right now, and they playing good ball.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. Let's go into one more. Let's go into one more topic for today, and then we'll call it a night. I'm gonna try and keep these. I'm gonna try and keep these podcasts under 30 minutes, so that if people want to catch the replay, they're not kind of sitting around. I feel like we talked about a nice amount of stuff, and
All right.
thank you in the comments for kind of keeping things going and keeping things moving as well. But from my understanding, there was another versus battle last night.
Oh, yeah. That was Gucci Man and Jeezy, Young Jeezy.
Now,
Yeah, that.
sadly, here's my confession.
Uh
I
huh.
really don't know either of them.
That's fine. I never took you to, bro. It's okay, so don't feel bad. But I could kind of bring you up to speed a little bit. Um, it's definitely with Twitter, especially Black Twitter. This is where you get the humor. This is where you get the laughs because they've memeified everything with this whole versus. Now, for those who may not know, um, Gucci Man and Jeezy or Young Jeezy formerly, they both came out around the same time. Matter of fact, they both had a very successful song around I think 2002, 2003. I want to say it was called So Icy. Now they both were breaking out at this time. The controversy was that who was going to have the song. You know, Gucci said this was going to be his song featured on his project, and Jeezy wanted that, and it was a riff right there. You know,
Hmm.
and but they both went on to establish their careers, and make albums. Sometime around. I'm not completely sure. Let's say the mid 2000s. Now they're both from Atlanta. They're both from Atlanta. Um, Jeezy has his affiliations, and Gucci Man has his affiliation. He blood affiliations, and Jeezy has his Crip affiliations. Um, it was one evening. Um, Gucci Man was with some young lady at some hotel to do what people do at hotels, and it was three or four assailants that forced their way into the hotel, and I don't know whether it was a staged robbery or whether it was an attempt on his life. But Gucci Man, what he did, he defended himself and he fired shots. He hit one of the people, and one of the people ended up dying. Those people, the assailants were, one of them was a rapper who was signed by Gucci, not Gucci, by Jeezy. So basically, he took out one of his homeboys, and then he just started putting it in his music. If you've listened to Gucci Man or know of him, he's definitely kind of got like a screw or two loose, and he's definitely the stuff he says, he means it. They used to call him the hip hop's boogeyman. If he's on an interview, he will tell you about yourself. You might even feel a little bit uncomfortable. So long and short, they've had a beef for the better part of 15 years. And last night when they did the verses, Young Jeezy, he had his song that he did, and it was basically, if you've seen the verses, people just play like 20 of their most popular songs or like their hits.
Right, right.
Gucci Man came out the gate with a diss song to Jeezy, and I'm talking about the most disrespectful things you can say about a person. He did it off top, and it was a surprise, a huge surprise that he even agreed to do the verses because you couldn't even expect these people to even talk to one another, let alone do this online competition, this online event. You know, Nobody thought it
Yeah.
would happen, but it actually happened. So they're going through the set list, they're going through the songs. I think total Gucci probably played like three or four diss songs, including one song called "The Truth," and he said the infamous line referring to Jeezy's old cohort that had gotten killed in that altercation. He said, "Go dig your partner up. Bet he can't say and if you're looking for the kid, I'll be in Zone 6." I'm like, you really just played that song? I'm like, oh my God. Everybody was probably looking at the verses like a train wreck about to happen, but you don't want to turn away because you're waiting on a
Yeah.
reaction. But then all in all, at the end, what they did, they actually sung their first song together, "So Icy," and they buried the hatchet right there on the stream last night. So that was, as far as hip hop is concerned, that was historical because you couldn't get these people around one another at one point in time, and they buried the hatchet. They actually party at a local club down there in Compound. So, but yeah, it was a lot of it garnered like I think just about 2 million viewers, or just a hair under 2 million viewers. So it was definitely an event.
Not bad, not bad. I didn't see another one coming down the pipes. I actually tuned in for the Brandy Monica and the one after it. Um
Uh, Brandy Monica. What happened after Brandy Monica? Was it? I could have sworn that was the last one prior to this. Brandy and
no,
Monica.
no.
Peter, hush up, man. I ain't betting on nobody. I ain't got no hits.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Um
who was it?
the women.
That,
Oh my
that
goodness.
was before. I know Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. That was before.
No,
Oh,
no.
oh,
This was
oh.
the
Was it Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle?
yes, yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one. I think I was still at work, so I didn't catch that one. Um,
That was a show.
I wish I caught
That was
that
a
one.
show right there. Yeah.
My favorite one that I like thus far was Beanie Man versus Bounty Killer. That was cool because if you listen to like dancehall music, it's very high energy, and they were up there just playing it like they had like a dancehall concert. Like they'll have the live DJ, and they'll stop in the middle of the set and doing whatever, and then they actually had the police come there during the stream, and basically, wonder what was going on. And he was like, man, he's Beanie Man talking to the police. He said, look, you want to be that guy? He said, we got hundreds of thousands of people watching right now. You want to be that guy? You want to disrupt this? And the police went ahead and let them carry on and finish because it was done at a studio. So yeah, and they wanted to
Uh,
make sure it wasn't. It was during COVID, obviously, so they wanted to make sure that they didn't have more than the amount of people that you were supposed to have at one location. So that was a cool one. The Brandy and Monica one I thought was just funny because it was a lot of shade. It was a lot of shade with that one. Oh my
yeah.
God, Monica, you could tell it was just palpable. It was hilarious. What Pete say? They need a rock version of these battles. Um, I wouldn't be against it, but I just don't think it's that demographic. You
I
know,
think it is. I think it is worth it. But as far as like my knowledge of rock, the people that I would want to see kind of aren't around anymore. Sadly,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what we just lost Van Halen as well.
Eddie Van Halen. I mean, shoot, even
Yeah,
Chad Bennington from Lincoln Park. You want to do, you know,
yeah.
I would like, and also the thing about these verses, it has to make sense. It has to make sense. Like, if I were to
Then
do
give
like
me some time. I could probably come up with some that makes sense. I could definitely.
I
But
could pull up two off the top right now. Even though there's generational difference, they're both like two of my favorite alternative rock bands. I would have Red Hot Chili Peppers versus Green Day. No, Red Hot Chili Peppers and Linkin Park wouldn't go. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's a reach. Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, I think would be a good matchup.
mm,
Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Green Day. Um, what's that? I think Van Halen and the Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. Like I can name those off easy. I can name those off. But I don't think it will fit that demographic though. Like Versus just started out on some hip hop stuff, and there was like hip hop R&B. They even had a gospel one. So I guess it had to fit the demographic. I haven't even heard of any suggestions because what was that? Timberland and Swiss Beats. They're the ones who kind of like promoting this whole thing. So
yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but would it garner that those kind of would it garner those viewers? I guess so. I mean, if you're a fan of them, I guess people will check out. Look, man, don't nobody care about Boy, if you don't shut up about Kanye, block him. Sick and tired about seeing Kanye. Kanye, who versus Kanye? Who versus Kanye? Anyway, I wouldn't even. But
Whoever it is, though, I'm going to think about that. But whoever it was versus Kanye, I do think that would be a good. I do think that would be a good versus battle
it
because
would, but it'd
I've
be
kind
hard.
of been yeah yeah I've been a fan of classic Kanye for a while now.
Kanye, but I'm just trying to think like who would be a good like you could pick Kanye, but it's like it's difficult because Kanye is largely a producer. He's a producer rapper. He's not an MC. So it's like it's different trying to kind of like pitting Kanye against like a rapper. It's like you'd have to pick somebody who's like a producer slash rapper. To kind of like
Kanye Timberland.
Kanye Timberland. You can, but Timberland is he does rap from time to time, but I would say Timberland versus Dr. Dre more so than anything.
I was also thinking that. Yeah.
Um, You know what? That might even be. I think that will work. Matter of fact, I tip my hat to you, Peter. Um, Kanye versus Pharrell. I think that'll work because that
Yeah,
catalog,
I
both of
wouldn't
that
mind it.
catalog is deep. And I'm talking about as artists. Both of them have features and catalogs that's deep, and I think that will work. That will work. You know. But yeah, but if we talking producers, I don't know. I have so many different producers who I just love. That I would love to see a versus battle. They've done that. They did the beat battle. They did what? Swiss did that with Timberland, and RZA did that. Who was it? RZA did that against who? Who was it? RZA and DJ Premier. They was I think the first one. I think the first one.
Hmm.
That was like the first
Yeah, I didn't even
versus.
see that one.
Yeah, DJ Premier versus RZA. Yeah. Um. Oh my goodness. And of course, everybody was like, man, if they were still alive, Michael Jackson versus you know, Prince. And that right there, I've always said that was kind of like apples and oranges because I love Prince. I love Michael Jackson. It goes without saying, Mike is Mike. You know,
Yeah,
you can love both.
Chris Brown
But
and Neo.
I'm not a huge Chris Brown fan, but Chris Brown got that one. Chris Brown got that one. Neo has hits. I'm not saying he doesn't, but Chris fan base and his the hits, the radio hits is undeniable, and he's still making. Here's how I feel about Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a great act. He's not a great voice, and I got dragged on Twitter about some weeks ago. I got dragged simply because I said Chris Brown could have been greater than he is if he didn't get so heavy into the lifestyle that cost him his voice. He actually had a decent voice at one point in time when he was much younger, but with the lifestyle that he leads and the drugging and the drinking or whatever, he has to rely on auto tune and melodyne and all these pitch corrections. That's a part of his repertoire. His voice is done. His voice is done. And also, I'm a firm believer, like a singer to me has to sing. We both, it's safe to say, we both come from an era that we like to hear people sing. We like vocalists, right?
Yeah,
Cause if
yeah,
you
yeah.
if you can't sit flat foot with a microphone sitting on a stool and sing and give a show like that, you're not a singer. Like Chris Brown, I'm like, dude, can you sit flat foot and sing? No, he gonna be up there just humping the floor, doing backflips. You know what I'm saying? No, that's
That's a
his thing.
performer.
It's a performer,
Yeah,
and I don't have anything against performers. And people was like, a couple people was like, yo, well, what about Michael Jackson versus Chris Brown? I said Chris Brown wouldn't stand a chance. I will admit, as a
that's
performer,
a performer. That's a performer versus a performer and a singer.
exactly, exactly, you're absolutely right. Because Michael Jackson, if he did, I said if you could do a show that's like unplugged, and if your catalog can't do it, you ain't no singer. Michael Jackson can do a whole set of unplugged songs
Yeah,
and would kill it. And he don't have to have a whole production dancing and all that type of stuff.
it's
I
like
could mix the set.
here's the perfect way to tell which is which too. If you can go on YouTube, look up a Michael Jackson performance.
Mm-hmm.
If you can watch that performance or listen to that performance without looking at the screen, then you know that person is a good singer and a good performer.
Oh,
But
indeed.
if you need to bring up a video of somebody and you need to actually be watching the video along with
Yeah,
the audio to enjoy it,
yeah,
then they're mainly just a performer.
yeah.
That could be
And
anybody. That could be anybody putting those vocals in,
yeah,
and it doesn't
yeah,
really matter at that point.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being a great performer. Like you have people who were more of the performer than they were the voice. It's nothing wrong with that. Like, nobody said um, Janet Jackson was a stellar vocalist, but she's one of the best performers that ever been on stage. She kind of laid the blueprint for your Sierras and your really your pop stars, your Britney Spears.
I don't know.
Even like
This generation wants to say Beyonce is done beating her out, and I'm not at any point going to accept that. Sorry to the Beyonce fans that are out there,
oh
but
wait a minute. You said Beyonce haven't beat out Janet.
no, she has not.
I'm gonna say this.
Beyonce has not beaten out. Beyonce has. Beyonce is good. There's nothing wrong with Beyonce. So I'm not hating on her at all. But she's basically taking advantage of the road that Janet put out there.
Yeah, but you know what I'm gonna say about that though, cause like I'm a Janet fan. I grew up loving Janet. Um, you want to know why I think you feel so strongly that way? Janet makes music that we all can listen to. Now, what I mean by that is, but Beyonce, the music that she's been making, I'm going to say from 2007 onward, has been it's been catered to a specific audience. Janet can make music for everybody. I can listen to "I Get So Lonely," Janet Jackson, all that stuff. Anybody can listen to. Girl, boy, man, child, woman, gay, straight. Anybody can listen to it. And what I'm saying might sound a little controversial, but this is just my observation. Beyonce largely makes music for women and gay men. They like when it comes to music, you have to there has to be something there for you. There's nothing there for me with Beyonce's music. That's how I feel. There's nothing there for me. Like there's nothing there for me to listen to. Now her early like even Destiny's Child, that was R&B. Anybody can listen to that. That's cool. Like I looked at that as like almost like another In Vogue, even though I wasn't a big Destiny's Child fan. But when she had her first album, Dangerously in Love, that was a good album. That was an R&B album. Anybody can listen to it.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I
agree.
mean by like. That's what I mean by like when it comes to music. Is it all encompassing? Could anybody listen to it? And that's when Beyonce found her fan base, her rabid fan base. She basically just made music specifically for that fan base and alienated everyone else. That's why I can listen to Rihanna. Rihanna makes music for everybody. You could party to Beyonce. Beyonce be rock. I mean, you could party to Rihanna. Rihanna be rocking. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing
Yeah,
really in there for me for Beyonce. She's great at what she does. And doubling back around to how what you said you don't think she's past Janet. I'm going to have to
yeah.
say she did as a performer. Beyonce is a performer, bro. Like when I seen that, I didn't even see the whole thing of her at Coachella.
Performer, performer and singer, or
She's
just
Beyonce is
performer.
no as a sole performer. It is a voice, like as a singer. Beyonce is definitely a better singer than Janet Jackson. Janet just
If
has.
somebody said, if somebody said, I'm going to give you a front row seat to either Beyonce or Janet, who are you picking?
I mean, that's my bias. I'm going to pick Janet because
See, see
I don't want to go to a Beyonce show and she's singing. If you like to be tonight, put a ring on it. I don't. There's nothing there for me. I would take those tickets, flip it, get money off of it. But
yeah,
if I got,
and see, that's what I think. That's what I think that deciding factor is. So she's way up there. She's very high, but I think that's because the majority just favors Beyonce these days. It's like Janet's older, and so she doesn't get. It's like if you were to what's the word, vintage or classic. If you were to take classic Janet in her prime and classic Beyonce in her prime, which is around this area, I don't. I haven't really listened to as much new stuff that she's done, But I would think that at their peaks, Janet peaks a little bit higher than Beyonce, and that's
Janet was
and that's
just as
my
big as Michael at one point in time.
yeah,
Janet was just as big as Michael, but and still not in his shadow. Like Janet was Janet, Michael was Michael. You know,
yeah, and I don't think that Beyonce is really technically in Janet's shadow, but if you were to compare the two, it might it might as well look that way. If you were to just take everybody else out of the equation and just put the two of them together. Only because of the fact that Janet was around longer than Beyonce can you get that feel. But if you
ja,
were to just
ja,
take both of them in their prime and just look at the numbers, I see Janet winning every time,
Janet.
even if it's by a small margin.
The thing is with Beyonce is you have said correctly. People put her up there. They elevate her because from a I mean, I know sales doesn't matter. That doesn't tell the tale of the tape, but people was buying it. People was, streaming it. Beyonce ain't even the biggest selling artist. Rihanna actually is the biggest selling female artist. Like internationally, Beyonce ain't selling like she ain't selling like Rihanna. Now I know I keep bringing up Rihanna because like I said, Rihanna's just universal to me. Um, Janet, when we think about certain eras like that Rhythm Nation era, Rhythm
Hmm.
that was a huge tour. That was a huge tour. Like when I think of places like that, and I don't know how far reaching Beyonce's tours went, but they were going to places like Beirut. You know what I'm saying? They were going to places where it's not the most anglicized and westernized place. Middle East, and she was going to some of the same places that Michael was going to, where they don't
Yeah,
know
that's true.
the English language, but they would sing your songs verbatim. You know, but I don't know, cuz I think you might have to be out there with yourself. I can't know what I know about Beyonce. I don't know. I don't know if I could go ahead and agree with that, man. I don't know.
If anybody catches the replay, excuse me, anybody catching this replay, feel free to voice your opinion on it, and maybe we'll give you a shout out in the next episode. But I feel like that might be a continuing argument. But I am going to stand on my hill for the moment.
You gonna die on that, cuz?
Yes, I may not die on it, but I'm definitely standing on it right
You
now.
you you gonna
Like
pitch
I
a
like
tent?
I
You
mentioned,
gonna pitch a tent?
yeah, I'm going to pitch a tent right now. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I can be easily swayed, but no, I'm going to try and prove my point when it comes to situations like this, rather than just going with the flow. I feel like my opinion matters more than, or just as much as anybody else's these days. So I'm going to go ahead and put it out there.
Just don't get it. Be select. Make sure you just be a little bit more select. Be selective about whom you ask, like far as the opinions. Do not ask anybody who's a part of the Beehive because, as far as I'm concerned, it's like Beyonce, their parents, and then Jesus. Like that's how they like. Beyonce is everything to them. Like when they refer to the internet, they were like, "How dare you post something crazy like that on Beyonce's internet?" I'm like, y'all really give this chick too much clout, man. Like it's too much.
I would love, I would love to have the speaking ability to be able to shut somebody down like that, where I would have them on the show, totally shut them down to the point where they ain't saying nothing, and then be like, just drop the mic. What? What you got to say now? I am never going to be to that point. But it's funny to think that that's possible, and I know of people that probably are that good that they can shut somebody down like that.
He needs to Pete, you need to shut up. Look at me, Pete. You are the biggest Kanye stan. You need to stop. You really need to stop. It's unbecoming. You're a grown man. I bet you have dreams of being Kanye. I bet you have dreams of just chilling under his tutelage. You boy, Don't get me started.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Well, here we are. We just hit 50 minutes. So tonight we are going to leave it at that. And I want to thank my guest, Celos, Black Los, for coming on for this. We might just call this the Vice Cast, Pete. Vice Cast. That's actually
I
a
like
pretty
that.
decent name. I'm gonna, yeah, yeah, that's
I
not
like
too
that.
bad. I always have the feeling that people don't realize that over the internet that my last name is actually Vice. The people in real life is like, oh, that's cool. Is that your real last name? I'm like, yeah. It don't feel like anything special to me because for the last 40 years it's been my last name. But I guess some people like, oh, Vice, like, oh, people don't compare it like they used to. People be like, oh, Miami Vice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Vice
Yeah,
President, yeah, spelled the same way. But
yeah.
uh but yeah, yeah, I wouldn't mind having that. I wouldn't mind having that as a name. So so let's leave it at that. Okay, Carlos, since you
Cut
are
it,
my
cut.
first guest, you can give yourself a shout out. Anything you want to pitch, the mic is
Uh,
open to you.
hey, first and foremost, thank you for having me on here, cuz I appreciate it. You can follow me. I'm on Instagram, official underscore black underscore los. You know, I'm sure you can spell. Or you could follow my music page on Facebook, Black Los, BLACKLOS. You could stream, download, share my debut album, Silent King to a Vacant Throne. I'm on all digital media outlets. Check that out. Um, like my cousin said, we got the only music video up of the song Long Road. That's by myself featuring Woody Rock, formerly of Drew Hill. Directed and shot by my cousin right over here. And hey, go check that out on YouTube. If there's any future material and endeavors, you will be hearing from it. You'll be hearing from it either personally through me or me and Cuzzo. Oh yeah, if y'all didn't know, that's my cousin.
Yep, yep. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we're going to end it right there. We'll leave it at that. And hopefully, we get some people to watch the replay. If y'all make it to the end, if y'all are actually listening to this right now, I thank you. Um, I actually put this out there earlier tonight that I wanted to do something like this, and I actually got some pretty positive feedback on some other guests that would be interested in hopping on. And I'm all for chatting and talking with anybody and putting my opinion out there. So, hey, feel free to hit me up on Twitter if you know the name, whatever. It's number four, got GOT 1010 cameraman, forgotten cameraman. And hey, look forward to hearing from anybody interested in joining this show. Doesn't have to be a one-on-one. We can group hit this, and there's plenty of stuff that I still plan on talking about. So that's it for tonight, everybody. Signing out.
Peace.